As a reminder from Lesson 1B on present simple, tense is when something happens in time. In English, there are 3 tenses: past, present, and future. The present is an event that is happening now. The past is an event before now. The future is an event after. For more information on present simple, please go back and watch the video for Lesson 1B on present simple. Remember, aspect is when something happens in time relative to another event in time. Simple aspect has no additional verb. For example, she walked to the market. Walked is in the simple past. There is no additional verb. The simple past is used to show finished actions in the past. Finished actions before now. For example, Dr. Eastland lived in Chicago. Lived is in the past simple. Live is the base form of the verb plus ed. To form the negative past simple, you use the auxiliary verb did, which is the past tense of the verb do, plus the word not. For example, Dr. Eastland did not live in Kentucky. To form questions in the past simple, you use the auxiliary verb did, which is the past tense of the verb do. For example, did Dr. Eastland live in Chicago? To form the past simple with a regular verb, you use the base verb plus ed. For example, work becomes worked. He worked a lot. Talk becomes talked. He talked all the time. Please notice, all the time is an adverb of frequency. Smile becomes smiled. He smiled nicely. Let's practice the past simple with regular verbs by working on exercise A on page 129. There are blanks and verbs after the blank. You are to take the verb and put it in the past simple. I will read the passage for you now. 2 summers ago, we had a holiday in Scotland. We blanked there from London, but our car blanked down on the motorway, and we blanked the first night in Birmingham. When we blank to Edinburgh, we blank find a good hotel, they blank all full. We blank what to do, but in the end, we blank a bed and breakfast, and we blank there for the week. We blank the castle, blank the arts festival, and we blank a lot of souvenirs. We blank to go to Loch Ness, but we blank much time and it blank quite far away. The weather blank and it blank raining the day we blank. Please pause the video now and work on this exercise by yourself. When you have completed the exercise, please start the video again and we will work on the answers together. Stay, want, and start are all regular verbs. To form the past simple with regular verbs, you take the base form of the verb and add ed. Stay becomes stayed because stay is the base form of the verb plus ed. Stayed. Want becomes wanted because want is the base form of the verb plus ed. Wanted. Start becomes started because start is the base form of the verb plus ed. Started. Now, let's work on exercise B on page 129. This exercise has questions and answers. You are to form the questions. The answers are already given. I will read the questions and answers for you now. Number 1, blank a good time? Yes, we had a great time. Number 2, blank with? I went with my family. Number 3, blank? We stayed in a hotel. Number 4, blank the plane ticket blank? It cost £500. Number 5, blank the weather like? It was hot and sunny. And number 6, blank at night? We went to bars and restaurants. If you would like more information on English question word order, please go back and watch video 1A. Please stop the video now and work on this exercise by yourself. When you have completed the exercise, please start the video again and we will work on it together. Number 3 has the regular verb stayed, formed with the base verb stay plus ed. Stayed. To form a question in the past simple, you use the auxiliary verb did. Where did you stay? To form the past simple with irregular verbs is a little harder. Irregular verbs do not follow the regular pattern. They are spelled differently. For example, Take becomes took. She took an orange. Leave becomes left. She left the market. Think becomes thought. She thought about her homework. Now let's go back and work on exercise A on page 129. We will now finish the irregular verbs. Please remember, irregular verbs do not follow the regular verb formation. They are spelled in a different way. Please pause the video now and make sure that you have completed this exercise on your own. When you have completed this exercise, start the video again and we will work on it together. Break becomes broke. Broke. Spend becomes spent. Spent. Get becomes got. Got. Can becomes could. Could not. Be becomes were. Were. To make the verb know negative, you must add the auxiliary verb did. Did not know. Find becomes found. Found. See becomes saw. Saw. Go becomes went. Went. Buy becomes bought. Bought. To make the verb have negative, you must add the auxiliary verb did. Did not have. Be becomes was. Was. Again, be becomes was. Was not very good. Leave becomes left. Left. Altogether, it reads, 2 summers ago, we had a holiday in Scotland. We drove there from London, but our car broke down on the motorway, and we spent the first night in Birmingham. When we got to Edinburgh, we could not find a good hotel. They were all full. We did not know what to do, but in the end, we found a bed and breakfast, and we stayed there for the week. We saw the castle, went to the arts festival, and we bought a lot of souvenirs. We wanted to go to Loch Ness, but we did not have much time, and it was quite far away. The weather was not very good, and it started raining the day we left. You could also have used contractions. Could not becomes couldn't, couldn't. Did not becomes didn't, didn't know. Again, did not becomes didn't, didn't have. And was not becomes wasn't, wasn't very good. Now, let's complete exercise B on page 129. Remember, to form a question in English, you use the auxiliary verb and the base form. Now, let's complete exercise B. Please make Now, let's complete exercise B on page 129. Remember, to form a question in English, you use the auxiliary verb and the base form of the content verb. Please make sure you have completed this exercise. Pause the video until you have completed it. When you have completed it, start the video again and we'll work on it together. Did you have a good time? Did is the auxiliary verb in the past simple. Have is an irregular verb. Who did you go with? Did is your auxiliary verb in the past simple. Go is an irregular verb. How much did the plane ticket cost? Did is your auxiliary verb in the past simple. Cost is an irregular verb. What was the weather like? Was is the irregular verb. It is the past simple form of the verb be. Where did you go at night? Did is the auxiliary verb and go is an irregular verb. Remember, the past simple is used for something that finished in the past. To form regular verbs in the past simple, you use the base form of the verb plus ed. For example, worked, talked, smiled. And remember, for irregular verbs in the past simple, they will not follow the regular verb pattern. They will be spelled differently. For example, took, left, thought,